data is gold, and without data, you can't act.
Right.
So I think, putting in infrastructures in place that are reliable and robust and have easy handshake capabilities to other third-party systems in the build space is one of the key drivers that we need to get to if we want to truly see, all the goals of net zero, carbon reduction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Without infrastructures in place that can provide the data to achieve those goals, you're going to keep spinning your wheel.
Right. And that's why you're coming from an IT perspective, because ultimately the lights are just the endpoint. They're bringing
It's
it
a
in.
means to the end, exactly.
And to actually get to that place of data, you have to have that IT network that understands what it's perceiving.
We're doing all the lighting for power and control. We're seeing about 0.2 watt per square foot consumption rates, which is about 70% more effective than what a traditional system would provide from the lighting. But we're also able to, in this case, we're providing all the temperature and motion data to the Schneider BMS system for HVAC. So they actually did not install any thermostats in this space. They're using all of our sensor data with their BMS. And then as well, on top of that, we also have a wall controller for lighting control that also has indoor air quality sensors built in. So they're using that same data, to measure wellness, but also to feed it back to that same BMS system to optimize the ventilation to ensure that, air quality levels and everything are perfect. Where like in a conference room is that, they're measuring the IAQ, the CO2, the VOC, and then that's getting fed in real time back to the BMS system to, crank ventilation up or down as needed.
Do you have to be very, very wealthy, to put it in very crude terms, to make your space connected? Because it's sensors, it's connectivity. I mean, obviously every case is different.
Yeah. Every case is different. The broad answer is no. Generally, it should be, CapEx cost neutral. And OpEx, obviously, your savings are going to be there. So in 95% plus of the cases, it's going to be cost neutral or even less expensive. The space I'm in now, it's a 20-some thousand square foot space here in Jacksonville, Florida. And we were actually about $60,000 less expensive. So about $3 a square foot less expensive than their traditional lighting package on day one, not including all the benefits of indoor air quality, integration to the BMS system, et cetera, et cetera. But it comes down back to the early modeling, the early design, because if you don't design it in earlier and it gets into that traditional construction process, then it gets a little bit harder to bring it back in if the train's already left the station.